Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program is brought to you by Secret City, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. It's the end of the year, and that means incredible savings. At Secret City on the Oak Ridge Turnpike, they are doing something absolutely unheard of. It's simple, it's to the point. Write your own deal. How about that? Pick the car you want, write the deal you want. Secret City will do their best to try and match that, what you write on that piece of paper. That is really an impressive deal. And you're not going to get a better gig than that. Secret City, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Take part in the Big Finish 2014 event this week. Secret City, right there on the Oak Ridge Turnpike. All right. Guys, I want to talk about pay, salaries. Not yours, because those are too low to even discuss. In terms of what I pay you. Want to talk about Butch Jones' contract. He got a raise this week. It was worth $600,000 thereabouts. His last contract ended in 2018. It was worth $2.7 on average there per season. The new contract stretches through the 2020 season and will bring him in about $3.3 million. The new coach's buyout, if he were to leave, it stretches through. 2016. It's $4 million. Then it starts dropping off $3 million, $2 million. But $4 million for him to leave, that's a one lump sum. The school buyout is the exact same, and that is Tennessee will owe him $2 million per season should they whack him at any point here between now and 2020. Anybody have any issues? We discussed last week any problems with giving him a raise at all. Now that you've seen it, maybe a little larger than I would have anticipated by $100,000 or so. Any issues with the raise that Butch Jones got for a 6-6 season?
You said exactly what I was thinking. $100,000 too much. I have no problem giving him a raise. I think you're giving him a raise based a lot on his recruiting that he's done. I think of the recruiting that's coming in. But I think it was just a fuzz too big. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in my life, $100,000 is huge. The way things are in NCAA football nowadays, it's not that much money. But I have no problem with a raise. A little smaller raise, I think, would have made more sense.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, and it is funny to think, but $200,000 in college football, what is it? That's
exactly.
What's the difference? Whether they're paying 3.2, 3.4,
it may be the difference between getting you ahead of Mark Stoops and some other guys.
Yeah.
That may be the whole reason for it. Is they look across the SEC and say, look, we can have you ranking 10th, or we can rank you 8th based on this $100,000. So we'll go ahead and move you up to 8. That's the only thing I can think as to why you would go ahead and throw that extra $100,000.
And obviously, you're not just rewarding a 6-6 season.
Right.
It's the direction of the program, the recruiting. I'll always wonder about how much the assistants are getting that do so much of the work as well. Oh. But just imagine how much Butch Jones would have gotten if he would have played Josh Dobbs against Florida. It would have probably been fantastic.
How much did John Adams pay you? I don't know. I watched Josh Dobbs against Missouri. I'm not sure you would have seen much difference against Florida. But let's take a look. You mentioned the assistant pay. Here we go. Staff pay for 2014. This is from USA Today. As a group, they made $3.2 million. That ranked 15th in the nation, which is good, but only 7th in the SEC. All right. LSU highest paid in the SEC. Chavis and Cam Cameron both making more than $1 million down there. They're at 5.4 overall. Ole Miss the lowest paid at 2.5. There are no numbers for Vanderbilt because it's a private school. Tennessee 15th in the nation, but about 7th in the SEC. Now they're going to get a pool to increase that this offseason. But is that about right for this staff?
Well,
Middle of the pack.
I feel like, have you been 7th in the SEC in results? No. But are you content, Tennessee, to be 7th in the SEC in general? No, you're not. You want to be higher than that, so pay them higher than that.
Okay.
I think part of it's the coordinator position as well. They're ranked lower than you're going to see a lot of coordinators around the country, but assistants that recruit guys like Tommy Thigpen, right, Zach Azzani, that go out and land prospects for them, that's really important because recruiting regionally, even nationally, is so important.
I think a lot of what Tennessee's paying Butch Jones and the coaching staff, I think a lot of that is betting on what's coming down the road.
The direction of the
program.
program.
You're exactly. I think you're betting on you're getting better. You got better this year, and people that say, "Well, you gave him a raise for being 6-6. Why did you do that?" Look at how young this team is. If he was 6-6 after 4 years, he's not getting a raise.
And I would say too, look what he inherited.
Yes.
And two, look at what would happen if you lost his staff and you lost his head coach. That would just be an absolute disaster right now.
Here's the difference between him and the last couple of guys. If he left today, the program's already in better shape. You couldn't say that about Kiffin. You couldn't say that about Dooley. You couldn't say that about Fulmer. He didn't leave it as well as when he found it either. This is the first guy in a long time. If he left right now, It's better than when he arrived. The other thing about him and his pay raise is when you look at the amount of money that they're giving him, I just don't see much reason for complaining. There is some out there, but those people who are doing the complaining about giving this raise, I guarantee you, they would be the exact same people to complain if Michigan had come in here and gotten him for more money. They would be the same ones saying, well, Tennessee's cheap. Some people just live to complain. And I think that's the group that's doing most of the complaining about what they're paying Butch Jones.
We call those people chronic complainers.
Chronic complainer.
I call them my wife.
I'm going to leave it at that one. Hi, Roxy. When we come back, we're going to talk about a stereotype. We'll talk about a stereotype. Big Ten, SEC, is Tennessee's roster ready to take advantage of it? We'll discuss. Come on back on the Sports Source.